But Band and his vandals want to dismantle $379 billion of export income. Now, cop this. The Greens argue that China doesn't pose a threat to Australia, and they've got no problem with the Solomon Islands' decision to form a security partnership with Beijing. The Greens want our military spending, which until recently has been totally inadequate, to be slashed, and the AUKUS agreement cancelled. They want Australia's nuclear submarine program to be axed, Pine Gap to be closed, and the US Marines out of Darwin. Why has the mainstream media not addressed these issues from an irresponsible political party boasting that it seeks the balance of power? China has the largest navy in the world, 355 ships and submarines. Its naval battle force has more than tripled in size in 2 decades. In 4 years, China has built new naval vessels, equivalent in tonnage to the entire Royal Australian Navy fleet. And they've done that every 18 months. Its Coast Guard has doubled from 60 to 130 1,000-ton ships in a decade. And a maritime militia has 300 vessels operating in the Spratly Islands, which are approximately 3,000 kilometres from Darwin. As Peter Dutton, the Defence Minister, told me on this program, quote, over the next decade, China's nuclear warhead stockpile, estimated to be in the 200s last year, is projected to reach between 700 and 1,000 warheads. And he said this, every major city in Australia, including Hobart, is in range of China's missiles. Yet, what does this 27-year-old Greens Peace and Disarmament spokesperson, Jordan Steele John, have to say? He's 27 and he's been in the Senate for 5 years. He says, I don't see China as a military threat to Australia, and that Australia should butt out of the affairs of the Pacific states, he says, and that outfits like the Solomon Islands should be free to, quote, defend their territorial boundaries and build relationships, unquote. Even though Australian and US officials fear the Solomon Islands-China Security Pact will allow Chinese naval patrols to operate from the Solomon Islands and open the way for the establishment of a permanent Chinese base 2,000 kilometres, do you mind, off Australia's northeast coast. Are we seriously saying that 11% of voting Australians are prepared to give these people, the Greens, a vote on Saturday in the light of their unapologetic articulation of these policies? Responsible and clear-thinking Australians would argue that everything known about the Greens should disqualify them from a single vote. Voters on Saturday are deciding our future. I urge a bit of caution. Put people in the Senate who will knock off this rubbish.